This video is sponsored by Adam and Eve. To get 50% off one item and free discreet shipping, go to adamandeve.com and use code CINEMA at checkout. Got some The Batman style opening logos here in all red. Whoa, alright. We seem to go through cycles where it's cool to show the title, maybe small in the corner, unassuming, and then years where it's way cooler to just have it at the end and not show it in the beginning at all, and now we've come back around with Joker and the Batman where the title card is overstated and imposing. Ave Maria is one of those timeless pieces that, depending on the context, can be beautiful, tragic, or disturbing. Or all of the above when used in film, and the way it's contrasted against Riddler's heavy breathing is superb. It's up there with Louis Armstrong's rendition of What a Wonderful World. Now that's a shot, and an entrance. The way your brain starts filling in the blanks to realize he's been standing behind him this entire scene. Oh, okay then. It's that kind of movie, with villains who curdle my blood with their yells. Did anyone else think Dano was going to be Hush after the first teasers? The mask looked like a version of bandages, and Hush's connection to Riddler really made me think some other secret cameo was the Riddler. So hey, maybe it would have been cool, but they played it straight and Dano kills it. Or him. Kills him. If there's a shot that defines this Batman, it's this. A warm incandescent light bulb creating a distorted color light as if the darkness is too powerful while rain drowns out any other sound, making what was old new again.
Hidden in the chaos is the element, but I'm there too. 2 years of nights have turned me into a nocturnal animal.
So we're getting exposition about how long he's been Batman, getting to hear his not over-the-top bat growl, and also there's something intimidating about him dressed in a hoodie and hat rather than his suit when this is the one night he could get away with it. Yeah, Drophead doesn't even need a gun, that's a petrifying mask.
But they don't know where I am. It's not just a call, it's a warning.
I mean, that's genius. It's a side that we've never seen fully explored by the Bat Signal. These constant push-ins on darkness making even us question if the Batman is lurking in the shadows. Hot damn, Batfleck had his own level of brutality that was new, but Pat's style is ruthless and grounded in reality.
I'm vengeance.
Okay, badass good guy, I think. We'll get to it. But when you think about the full line that Batman usually says, I am vengeance, is just the first part of it. So it's another way of pointing out how early he is in his journey. And these wide shots remind us that Batman is just a dude. Sure, a rich dude with training and some dope weapons, but also just a dude.
Please don't hurt me.
And that's another thing this one does a little differently. You see a guy dressed up as a bat, you're not assuming he's the most stable of cables. Not to mention he gets basically a Vader introduction, and who could say if he's a good guy or a bad guy?
Goddamn freak.
This guy over here really liked that one. Ah, you got him, Martinez. He never even saw that coming.
He was alive when it was cut off. Ecchymosis.
Another reason I love this Batman, he could have said bruising, but screw you, keep up, get a dictionary if you want to play along. You know someone in production knew putting an owl on that card was going to spawn 15 videos about how the Court of Owls is the true villain. There's so much Batman lore it's almost impossible to avoid.
What does a liar do when he's dead? He lies still.
Ha, so quick. There's some of that genius bat detective I've always heard so much about.
Happy f***ing Halloween.
Jude says that to me every year.
Kid found him.
In case it wasn't clear, this is a very personal story for Bruce. He may not even be identifying as Batman yet, he's simply vengeance. He's still punishing the streets for his parents' death, and now this case just became even more personal since he sees himself in this kid who also lost his parent. I don't know that they could have picked a better song for the Batman. Batman is a long-suffering dude, and what encompasses that more than Kurt Cobain recounting the time he was homeless? Wait, Bruce is a billion. It's not narration, it's Bat Diary. Bat Journal. This is making me feel uneasy. Do we see everything inside a circle? Is my world round? The first time we see him without the mask is a look. It's très derelict.
If I can't change things here, if I can't have an effect, I don't care what happens to me.
Sounds noble, it might even be noble, and this is the common criticism of Batman, but the idea that someone this rich thinks the only way he can do anything is to dress up like a bat and punch people is But more to the point, this scene reminds us that Batman is not doing okay, especially this early in his career. In the end, his actions are probably a net good, but as the absurdly good Harley Quinn show points out, Bruce is dealing with his trauma in just about the most unhealthy way possible. And the people of Gotham should be thanking their lucky stars he doesn't have Wanda Maximoff's powers. They are really selling the nocturnal animal aesthetic. This is definitely the most vampiric Bruce Wayne we've ever had. Pale, can't handle bright lights, sparkles in sunlight, sleeps in a coffin, you know, the usual. Excellent movie, glad to see Riddler's a fan.
Some drive.
That's so many levels of fun, I think I like the Riddler more than Batman.
The drive. It sent out the photos from my account.
I mean, he did put a drive with an actual thumb attached to it into his personal computer that was connected to the internet, so that's on him. I love Jim Gordon, but I think the Riddler knows what kinds of goofs he's dealing with.
Never get in there without a warrant.
Yeah.
Pattinson reached down deep for his inner Keanu and nails it.
That little suit's gonna get all full of blood.
Mine are yours.
Seriously, Batman deserves to get these lines.
It would be extremely painful.
You're a big guy.
For you.
Another nod to his youth, immaturity, and overall unwellness. He has no idea what this place looks like, where the exits are, what kind of firepower the guards are bringing. He just walks in, genuinely not caring if he dies. And he's good, so it comes off badass, but it should be clear he's taking unnecessary risks. And I like that he's not completely infallible like some previous Batman. He takes some hits in every fight.
Take it easy, sweetheart.
I think after King DeVito's version, I'd never have the guts to step into this role, but Ray does a good job. I appreciate that they cast two bland and completely unattractive leads as bats and cats. Really makes us feel grounded.
Mr. Vengeance here, you don't bite.
Very into his sorta name getting around. Bat does the slow, creepy bat eyes like a champ. Oh no. Now I'll have to go talk to that attractive woman, darn it. Being Batman is awful and I'm totally doing it for the city. I know it's just like focus puller 101, but I'll never not be impressed by a rack focus to someone through glass at an uneven and changing distance, and they do it twice in 30 seconds. Okay, cool, at least Bruce decides to stop spying once. Oh crap, never mind. But hey, how else was he supposed to make the Catwoman connection? Nah, don't spy on people changing. It was for research, for the city, for the saving people. Huh, cats do always land on their feet. Cat parkour. Catcore. Percore? I love that the lighting in this movie is just sort of rude. Like, stop shining lights in my eyes. Oh, you're transporting me to another world where everyone is uncomfortable and things are terrible all the time. Got it. The Catwoman is doing some legit cat burglaring. And then she turns into a real live cat's hybrid monster to kick at bats in only a way Neo and a million Smiths could truly appreciate. Oh, snap. She's got a future as a running back. Cat play foosball? It's hard to sneak up on a cat, but you know what animal has even better hearing than a cat? Batman.
She did seem upset. Back at your place.
I guess at least he comes clean.
Took my phone.
My gut reaction was, who leaves home without their phone? But then I remembered she was a cat burglar, so actually that makes sense. At least the Joker had the decency to do a horizontal video. But hey, vertical video has become a thing, and this would actually be less believable because the Riddler doesn't care about filmic integrity. Realism.
You got a lot of cats.
Astute observations. I like that this version of Riddler is genuinely disturbing. Solid 7 meets Saw vibes.
You make it sound like he had it coming.
He was a cop.
Whoa there, Batman. Pauses like that will get you some serious accusations. Although it's sort of funny, the common theme in Batman is that every single cop except for Jim Gordon is bad, but Batman still doesn't say ACAB, that all cops aren't Batman. Nice touch to make the letters look carved into the card as if he was just pushing a little too hard.
Boy, you're a real sweetheart.
Compliments.
Kenzie. William. He's an off-duty cop.
See, he aren't Batman.
These guys have a little problem with eye contact, don't they?
Aw, 'cause she's so pretty? Oh, right, yeah. Hey, just so we're all on the same page, they can always tell. You think you're being sly, you're not. I love Peter Sarsgaard. Don't get him confused with the Skarsgårds. He's not one, although he could be because he's also very pretty. That's it. A+ casting. I mean, it's a little unfair because John Turturro has never been miscast, but you get the point. Because Irving comes off so soft and gentle, it makes him even more intimidating. What does he do when no one's looking to become so feared? Cheer up, man, you're married to Maggie Gyllenhaal. This sounds like Ave Maria in a minor key, which is amazing. While the original adds to the creepiness of the opening scene, this minor key makes the whole thing seem sad and somber. Ha! That's how you know they were filming in the car. That's an insider note for you. Pay attention next time in a movie where people are in a car and ask yourself where the headrests are. You'll never not notice it again. I'm sure someone much smarter than me has done a very interesting deep dive into how much the Saw movies have impacted film. If not, someone should. I don't get tired of people hiding in the dark and then emerging all creepy.
Riddler's not after you. You're not corrupt.
Dang it, I love how confidently he says it. Jeffrey Wright is one of the good ones. Actors, that is. I appreciate the efforts to make Bruce gaunt and off-putting, but he's still given emo Kurt Cobain, which honestly works really well. And this is probably one of the only scenes Pattinson didn't have to prepare for. It's gotta be hard to be a young heartthrob.
I couldn't go to no hospital, so we showed up on his doorstep, operated right on the dining room table.
Sure, if you read The Long Halloween, you already knew this, but I really like the way this movie slowly rolls out information. It builds a story that exists outside of the comics. Always using and reusing songs in such interesting ways. Ave Maria and Something in the Way pop up throughout the film.
Get out of the car! Get out of the car and show your hands!
I know they have to do this, but everyone knows the driver isn't the perpetrator. You still have to cross the easy stuff off the list first. It just always sounds silly, you know? You don't ask for the keys or a battering ram to a door before you just, turn the knob. Big fan of picturing the Riddler sitting there writing out every single ring like a middle school girl writing her crush's full name. They all do that, right? Me, I did that. Colleen, I'm sorry, I was so weird.
No one ever gave me a chance.
Great foreshadowing to Riddler's somewhat, let's just be honest here, incel vibe we get later in the movie. Very poor me, and I'm not saying he hasn't had a rough go of it, but his conclusion of what he's owed due to his suffering is so self-indulgent it almost takes away any sympathy I actually have for him.
But when it's denied, it's violence.
Snacks?
Justice.
Oh, justice, totally.
What is the price for your blind eye?
Snacks, this one's definitely snacks.
Bribes.
Right, bribes. I guess this is why I'm not the Batman.
So much bigger than you could ever imagine. It's the whole system.
Even knowing he'll die either way, he's still more afraid of the Jesus than the Riddler. Defense of the indefensible time. How does Batman survive an IED 8 inches from his face? Number 1, he's vengeance, Batman. Number 2, frame by frame, you can see that he does put his arms up and his gauntlets are really strong. Once again, his hubris and immaturity get the best of him. He got blowed up with a million cops watching and now he's in hell.
Colson's blood is on his hands.
Maybe it's on yours.
What'd you say?
I love when people accuse someone of something and then the person goes, "No, you," and then the original accuser acts like they just spit on their mother's graves. It's a trope that never ceases to make me smile. He lets Jim push him around because he trusts him.
What are you saying, Kinsey Moonlights for the Penguin?
Moonlight's just a car.
Aha, not just a great detective, a great wordsmith. Opening fire in the police building with civilians right there. All cops aren't Batman. Look at that snorri cam shot with the cop just about to grab him, top notch. Ouch. Cool landing, but ouch. But honestly, this wingsuit is just awesome, and I love that when he gets back up, he's not just fine, he's hurt.
Could have at least pulled that punch, man.
I did.
You want to move in? Let's follow.
Gordon has always been on Batman's side, but getting to see them finally actually work together is super satisfying.
This how you get your kicks, hun?
I mean, kinda? IRL Batman would not be well received. Seriously, they changed the Batmobile game here. It's a real Dodge Charger, but also hyper-real in a way that I still believe someone could build.
This guy's crazy.
And he seems to really enjoy that. Just one of the coolest Batmobiles ever. There's something so crazy and realistic about the SUV getting obliterated without a camera cutting to the full angle of the crash. It's not the most interesting thing happening right now. You know, brake checking and then taking the hit from a semi would not have been my first thought, but dang it if it doesn't work like gangbusters. Well, that's just some Mad Max stuff right there. Badass good guy. Badass good guy. There's something so perfectly Batman about this score. Michael Giacchino is always a win. So pounding, so relentless.
Hell is this? Good cop, bad cop?
The wordplay from these baddies is really something to behold.
Come on! Open your eyes!
Jeffrey Wright is always a win.
Jesus, look at you two. World's greatest detectives.
I like that the Penguin could be the one who came up with all of Batman's alts.
No habla español, fellas?
Do me a favor, shut up.
Okay, let's not sleep on Colin Farrell. I legit don't know how this is him. Have you heard his real accent? It is not this. How is he doing this? Usually when you put a bunch of silly makeup on an actor and tell him to ham it up, that's what you get, a hammy mess. But Colin became Oz. It sort of hurts my brain. Ah, so that's why they call him the Penguin, the Waddle.
No guns. Yeah, man, that's your thing.
Jeffrey Wright is also the man.
Dropping it.
Well, that's right on the money. Even in the fictional world of Gotham, we gotta have a derogatory name for people struggling with addictions.
His next victim is Bruce Wayne.
And I was just snapped back to reality because I entirely forgot Gordon doesn't know Bat's identity. Says something about their friendship. Also, it's easy to be like, how did Bats not figure out he was the target after all the orphan talk? But I think it speaks to how little Battison thinks of himself as Bruce Wayne. He clearly has avoided being a public figure, and at this point, vengeance seems closer to his true identity, while Bruce Wayne is the disguise.
Something terrible is gonna happen.
I'm afraid it already has, sir.
The editing here is executed so well. Often I can guess when timeline trickery is happening, but I was fully bamboozled until she picked up the phone. It happened an hour ago and he was too busy Batmaning. Solid move, Alf. Some real quick thinking.
Is there anyone else to notify? Next of kin?
No. It's just me.
Goodness, it finally hit him. Bat conveys the realization so perfectly. Maybe you didn't see him as your only family, but the feeling was not mutual. Ah, you might not have realized it, but Chiquino is coming in again with the Something in the Way motif. I know it's in a different key, but the whole score is clearly pulling from those chord changes. I remember reading a rumor that Matt Reeves was like, Rob, man, you gotta get jacked with this role, and Rob was like, no. Apparently Rob Bat was joking and we all just took it as fact. Anyway, Robert Pattinson's workout routine. Well, smart way to get his attention, since clearly she knows he's creeping.
Your friend got involved with the wrong people. She didn't know any better. Your choices have consequences.
You know, whoever the hell you are, you obviously grew up rich.
Oof, nailed him. And because, yeah, that is definitely the outlook of someone who never really had to struggle. Even if you want to give him Bale Bat's backstory, he chose that life. It's not the same as having to make choices no one would even consider just to survive. And that's the end of part 1. I know, I'm sorry, it's just a 3-hour movie. And it's the Batman, so, you know, sometimes you gotta wait for the Batman. But part 2 will be out next week, as well as another re-upload, because I know how much y'all love those. Anyway, check out adamandeve.com and use code CINEMA to get 50% off one item. And as a side note, 20% of their profit goes to help fight the spread of HIV around the world, so, you know, win-win.